What's up, everybody? It's your man JFILT from howtomakeverysickbeats.com, and welcome to another episode of Learn How to Sample Like, where we delve into production techniques, crate digging, and sample flipping of the great ones. In this episode, JD, aka J Dilla. So let's get into it. So if you don't know about Tracklib, it's basically a resource for you to crate dig and get your samples cleared and licensed hassle-free without the need of lawyers, which is very important, especially if you want to be legit, okay? Tons of samples you can choose from. It's like over 100,000. They're always updating samples like every week. What we're going to do, and this is going to be a generalization when it comes to J Dilla. If you don't know about J Dilla, please do your homework. J Dilla is commonly referred to as the GOAT, which is very justified in my opinion. He sampled so many different things. So this video is going to be a generalization, and we're going to kind of base it off of his album Donuts. Rest in peace to J Dilla. So what we're going to do is, let's start with all tracks. You're going to go to all tracks, right? And the genres we want to pick are R&B and rock, okay? And then we're going to use the years between 65 through 85. And we're going to keep this in North America. So you just check these out, right? Check these filters out, and then it will basically filter all those songs that fit in these categories. So look at this list. Let's just listen to a few of them. I like that already. And notice a lot of these tracks have multi-tracks, which is very important if you want to get specific sounds. Okay, so that's very good. Your head down low. You definitely want vocals. Listen for vocals, because we're going to use vocals, definitely. You know, so it just goes on. And you want to catch melodies. You want to listen for melodies that catch your attention, that are soulful. And so I chose a few. Check this out. See how that has vocals? And that's another thing. You want to listen for like weird stuff, like sound effects, or just like some atmosphere type things. Listen for stuff like that, and you can use that. Just like random stuff, just craziness, right? Another way you can find that kind of stuff as far as vocals and sound effects is just go into types and just click effects track or sound effects. See that? Vocals. And just see what comes up. See, like I was talking about before with the multi-tracks, now you have like backing vocals by itself, and you can just use whatever. Make him think that he's the blame. They called me smarty pants. You see what I'm saying? Look at all this. It just goes on and on and on. So y'all get the idea. Okay, so let's move on to our DAW. By the way, just in case you didn't know, most of those beats done by Dilla on Donuts were done on this. The SP303, which further explains the greatness and genius of J Dilla. But we're not going to do that. We're doing this on the computer. That way I can show you the waves and all that kind of thing. So let's go. So once you download all the samples to your computer, I have them right here on the side, and you just go through them and flip them. Here's one of the samples that I used. I wanted to use it as the intro because it was weird, and it was like, yeah, it was dope at the same time.
It was the year of 1999, the year before 2000. A new age of history had begun.
I thought that was crazy, so I dragged that in a Serato Sample, and I changed the key a little bit because you'll see why in a second. I wanted to match the key of the beat. And so in order for me to do that, I had to flip the key just a little bit. So I just, took it up a key actually on this part.
A new age of history had begun.
So notice the chops that I have on that. This is what I did.
A new age of history had begun.
See that? That way I had more control. And then I can go into my beat doing that. Okay, so that's that. And I didn't do too much. I just took some of the low end out of it, you know. Remember I was talking about just using weird sounds and just things you can use as effects? So check this out. Pulled from Tracklib. The Breaker 19, and it sounds like he's on the radio, right? So I didn't have to do anything. That's an effect in itself. So I just dragged that in and just did that. So the main sample, I chose this song right here. It's called Keep On Trying.
No matter how life
right? And so this song has a lot in it. You can see the length of the song, right? And what I chose to do was just take the little parts and chop at the kick and the snare, because this has drums in it and vocals in it. That's why I chose this one. So this was very, very key. And another thing that I did was pitched it down. So notice. So I found the snares and chopped up at the snares and the kicks. Hear that? That's your snare. That's a kick. And so basically you just do that throughout the pieces that you want. And then just use different pieces and just put them together like a puzzle. Right? And within that are also vocal chops. See that? Keep on. So I can like randomly hit those little chops however I want to. Using that same sample, I used an ad lib, so I can just have just a track by itself just using ad libs. And that's over here. And notice the effect that I put on it. I put like a delay. So let me show you guys what I used. Comeback Kid. This is by Baby Audio. I use this, first of all, let me play it without it. So I just randomly use those little vocal stabs throughout the beat. If you add in a delay effect, it sounds like this. And the reason why I like this is because it's panning left and right. You can really hear it if you have on headphones. And what I did was I have this ping pong thing right here, right? And I just have it delaying in quarter notes. And then you can adjust the feedback and the time and all that stuff. So I'll have links to all this stuff below the video if you're interested. Check it out, guys. I really didn't do much as far as drums because the sample already has drums in it. All I did was add a kick, and I kept it very simple. This is my kick. You know? 1, 2, 1, 2. And I just played it along with the beat. Okay? And another thing I did with the kick was I used SideChain. Okay, and that's very important because I can SideChain that to duck down the sample. People make it sound like it's all complicated, but it's not. I go to my kick, you take an aux track, right? So it's basically a bus. Okay, and then what you do is you don't want it to have any output at all. So notice there's no output. See that? There's no output at all. But I have it there. And I'm going to show you why. Because I want to put it on my sample, which is this down here. So I go to my sample track, and then what I want to do is put a compressor on it, which is this. And then I'm going to hit SideChain over here, right? And then you see this where it says SideChain? The SideChain is from the bus 4, which is my kick, and you just put it there. So that way, when I play them together, it ducks down the sample. You hear that? Without it, so you can hear the difference. Back on. Scratching effects. Now, I'm not, again, I say this all the time, I'm not a turntablist. I use my MPC 500. I have a video showing me how I do that. Use a scratch sound effect. You see there, and you kind of just hit random scratches specifically right before a vocal comes in. That's where it sounds the best to me. So something like this. You see what I'm saying? So it's like you're scratching the vocal, but I have that on a separate track. And I also have like some special like sound effects that I call my own signature. Dilla uses, everybody knows he uses that air horn on all his beats. Especially you hear it all throughout Donuts, but we're not trying to create Dilla clones. Let me repeat, I'm not trying to create Dilla clones. It's just the concepts so you could use it in your own way. Okay, this is guidelines. People get that twisted. Okay, so for me, what I like to use is this little scratch sample that I created, and also this little zap type of thing. So I use that in a lot of my beats, okay? There's a section that I chose to like slow down, and the way I did that was using time stretch. So let me play that portion of the beat.
My friend, just keep on trying.
Right there, you're like, what's going on? So I'm gonna show you what's going on right here. Right here. These are regular speeds. And then when I get right here, notice I time stretched it so it could go slower. See that? And then I go right back into it. So that's the thing you can use. That's one of those curveballs that I call it a curveball that Dilla likes to do, you know, that Dilla does. All throughout that, I mean, just crazy, just out the blue, like what is he doing? You know, you know. And another thing is just using space. So you'll hear that when I play the beat. Again, just have fun and just try things, just try out the box type of things, man. Have fun with it. Now I'm going to play the beat, and as we listen to the beat, I'm going to kind of point out some of the stuff that's happening. All right, so here we go.
New age.
So that's the intro.
Begun.
The weirdness, crazy talking, vocals, you hear the kick, you got the samples going, the vocal chops, ad-libs.
Just keep on trying.
Scratching.
Keep on.
There was space. Did you hear that with the kick by itself?
Just keep running. Just keep right on trying.
Just random chops. You hear the snare and the hi-hat's already in the sample. It's no format, no verse, no chorus, just random. Change it.
Just keep on trying.
Back. Little
Keep
sound
on
effects. Right? And then I'll just fade out, and that's basically it.
Keep on trying.
Now, if you really pay attention, the words is saying keep on trying, and I kind of wanted to, you know, kind of send a message out. And that was one of the things that I picked up on Donuts is there's all kind of messages throughout that whole album. So that's another thing to look for. You pick samples that kind of have a message in it, you know, and you really have to pay attention to the words, especially if it has words, if you're using vocals. So I want to just send out to everybody, keep trying whatever you're doing. Don't quit. Don't stop. I believe in you. So if you like this video, hit the thumbs up button, subscribe if you haven't already. Check out the links down below, and I have a special link that you can use and get 15 tracks for free over at Tracklib. Tag us. Try these techniques. We want to hear what you do. And if you have any suggestions of more producers you would like me to cover, write it down in the comments below. It's your man JFILT. I'm sending peace and positive energy.